Hey guys, and welcome back to another Odds and Ends, the video series where we delve into the strange, unique, and obscure of gaming. On today's episode of Odds and Ends, we're going to be taking a look at some more interesting and fun, strange import Sega Saturn puzzle games. This actually isn't my first time covering some import Sega Saturn puzzle games. I've covered some import Sega Saturn puzzle games on an old video now, but I don't know about you guys, but I'm a huge nut when it comes to puzzle games. I love me some puzzle games, and anyone who knows that the Sega Saturn was just a gold mine for some strange and obscure puzzle games that we never got stateside. So what do you say we delve into this episode of Odds and Ends? The first game we are taking a look at today is Tokimeki Tyson Tokai Dama. This is a puzzle game spin-off of Konami's very popular dating sim series Tokimeki Memorial, which ironically I've talked quite a bit about on my channel, but those who have seen the last Odds and Ends know that the series is an interesting dating sim series. But believe it or not, this is actually not the only puzzle game spin-off for Tokimeki Memorial. I actually covered the other Tokimeki puzzle game, Puzzle Dama, in the very old Volume 1 of Import Sega Saturn puzzle games. Now visually both games look very similar, but the gameplay is actually quite different for both of these games. But let's get back to focusing on Tokai Dama in particular. Tokimeki Tokai Dama, similar to Puzzle Dama, is a Tokimeki reskin of an existing puzzle game. Konami had these puzzle games which they kind of like to reskin with other popular series, and Tokimeki was one of them. In Tokimeki Tokai Dama, there are multiple modes to choose from. It has a story mode which has some form of a plot for each girl, a pick up and play kind of arcade mode with multiple difficulties, and a puzzle mode which has you getting rid of all the blocks in a specific amount of turns. Plus you get to see all the girls in a bikini. Whoa, this pixelated lewdness is way too hot for the tubes. And is it me, or is the formation of this first level a bit wrong looking? Sexual innuendo aside, wait, what? Did that girl just summon a robot? I don't even know anymore. Anyways, getting back on track, before jumping in, you could choose from all the different waifus. This actually does factor in with the gameplay. Based off the girl you choose will determine the pattern at which half blocks form on the playfield. The actual gameplay is simple and straightforward. Blocks come from the bottom of the screen, and you use the cursor to move and swap various color blocks to make links of 3 or more of the same color. This is not limited to just horizontal and vertical, but blocks can link up in many ways as long as there's 3 or more of the same color. As you get rid of blocks, this will cause these half blocks to appear on your opponent's side. Half blocks develop into normal blocks once you trigger links near them. The game visually is very colorful, and I do really like all the animations of all the various girls in the background. It makes things feel more alive as they react to how you play, and well, some of their expressions and gestures are pretty funny to me. The music is also surprisingly great for the Tokimeki series in general, and Tokai Dama's soundtrack is no exception. Tokai Dama has some very upbeat and lighthearted tunes, although the song that plays during the puzzle mode got annoying for me pretty fast. But in general, Tokimeki Tokai Dama is a very fun, colorful, and charming little puzzle game. Check out both Tokimeki puzzle games if you are so inclined. Puzzle fans won't regret it. Now it's time for a little sidebar fun fact for you guys. Koji Igarashi, or Iga as he's often referred to as, is very popular and well known for his iconic work with the Castlevania series. But did you know he's actually a huge part of the Tokimeki Memorial series for his vast scenario writing for some of the early Tokimeki Memorial games? The more you know. Next, let's take a look at Popoitto Hebereke. Now, Hebereke is actually a long-running series from Sunsoft. The original Hebereke is an adventure action platformer starring some really cute characters. This series would go on to span many platforms and genres, including puzzle. So that brings us to Popoitto Hebereke, a puzzle game spin-off for the series. Popoitto Hebereke's main mode is the story arcade mode, which has the cute characters of the series talking to each other before dropping into the game. Now, the gameplay is pretty much like a Dr. Mario clone, and this is actually interesting because you see many puzzle games take inspiration from many iconic puzzle series, yet Dr. Mario is not copied as much. How this works is these pairs of color blocks fall from the top, and in each level on the right you will see specific blocks and the number of them that have to be cleared. These specific blocks will be constantly moving in specific patterns, so you have to use the falling blocks to stop them from moving while linking up 4 or more of the same color, either horizontally or vertically, to get rid of these specific moving blocks and clear the stage. Like Dr. Mario, it's a very methodical game where timing and thinking ahead is key, especially since the longer you take on a stage, the faster and harder it gets. After you clear a stage, you get to see these cute little guys drop kick each other. The game visually has a distinct charm. It's colorful, featuring many cute and wacky characters. I mean, come on, just look at how cute they are. The music is very fast, frantic, and upbeat, very appropriate for this type of game, and though it may not have many modes, this is still a fun puzzle game with lots of strange charm. The last game we'll check out today is a classic puzzle game from Data East, Magical Drop. Magical Drop is a long-running series of puzzle games that has appeared on many platforms over the years. The specific version we are looking at today is a Sega Saturn version of the first game in this series. There are a few modes to choose from. You have your endless mode, which has you playing for as long as possible as the game gets progressively harder. There's a puzzle mode where you have to get rid of all the blocks in a set amount of moves, and your standard arcade mode. The gameplay of Magical Drop involves moving this line cursor and picking up similar colored blocks and throwing them back up to make vertical links of 3 or more of the same color. Once you trigger blocks in a vertical link of 3 or more, that will also trigger any touching blocks of the same color as well. This is what I really like about Magical Drop, is this ability to gather multiple blocks and being able to really manipulate the layout allows you to pull off some big links and chains. There are also these blocks that have symbols on them, and triggering these will get rid of all the corresponding blocks of that same color, and there are also frozen blocks which will trigger once a chain is made near them. Presentation wise, this game isn't as visually busy as the other games I've shown today and may look somewhat basic, but it's important to remember this is an early Saturn game and the first in the series. Later installments and even some retro installments of Magical Drop have more animated and lively characters in the background and more charm. The music is mainly just one song that plays throughout the whole game, and sadly it's not a great song. This is the kind of game where you just throw on some other tunes in the background while you play it. Despite the basic visuals and very subpar music, at its core it's still Magical Drop, and Magical Drop is still some fast-paced, frantically fun puzzle action from one of my personal favorite puzzle series. So that'll pretty much do it, guys, for this episode of Odds and Ends, where we took a look at some more fun, interesting, strange import Sega Saturn puzzle games. And we are not done with the Sega Saturn by a long shot. We're going to be covering some more Sega Saturn stuff on some future Odds and Ends videos, so look forward to that. But guys, I don't know about you, but I'm so down with the Saturn, so expect more Saturn stuff. But until next time, please take it easy, guys. Bye, guys.